Welcome to the Heist on the Row, an all-original Carnival Row RPG. I'm Travis Beacham, the creator of Carnival Row, and your game master for today's one-shot adventure. I'm here today with these four wonderful players who visited us on the set of Carnival Row in Prague, and now we're playing through a unique adventure with new characters from our world. So let's get started.
Woo! All right.
All right, so I guess we'll start off by, I'll ask you to help me introduce your characters here. Amy, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Amy Vorpahl, and I'm playing Mabel Sullypond, the fierce furnace battle nanny. Mabel Sullypond hails from the war. She is a veteran, so she is no stranger to fighting, be it with her fists, with guns, any sign of weakness, she's gonna go for it. And some may have called her a little rage-hungry. She truly is the GOAT.
Hi, my name is Aliza Pearl. I'm playing Carmeline Brightraven, a Mima fairy. Mima is a fairy priestess who's very well versed in fae lore and history. Carmeline is definitely a fae history buff, and she'll tell you all about it if you ask her. She also is really interested in studying human medicine because she likes to acquire knowledge and also use it to help and care for people. Carmeline also saw a lot of stuff go down in the war, so even though she's kind of warm and fuzzy and calm, she has some secrets that she probably doesn't want anyone else on the row to know about her past.
Hi, I'm Dan Casey, and I'm playing Officer Tiberius Bottom, a member of the Constabulary of Carnival Row. I patrol these mean streets, protecting and serving mainly myself. I don't have a heart of gold so much as I have pockets of gold because Officer Bottom runs a protection racket. He will shake people down, he will run scams, he will destroy evidence, he will do whatever it takes to obtain that grain, get that bread, yeet that yeast, whatever he will do, it serves his bottom line because Bottom is coming out on top.
Hi, I'm Erika Ishii, and I'm playing Moonshadow Foxglove, a Black Raven fairy. The Black Ravens are the criminal underworld of the burg. Moonshadow, true to her name, is sneaky, a bit of a thief and a rogue, a scoundrel, if you will. She works alone, or so she'd have you believe. She also loves knives.
All right, so let's set the scene here. Our story tonight finds us, your characters actually, in a room not unlike the room that we now find ourselves in the back of a prestigious supper club called the Janissary Club, not on the row. So I think you will all find that you are a bit out of your element. And you've been summoned here. You've each received a note containing information that compels you to be here by some anonymous presence. For you, Amy/Mabel, the note is offering a way to buy you out of your contract, which you desperately want.
I desperately want, and also I'm so taken by this entire situation. I've never been able to interact with the teacups and the silverware myself, so kind of, rat-a-tatting them and seeing what sounds they make on the teacups and everything.
And Carmeline, in your case, the note has promised some knowledge of some dark deed that you did in your past back in Tirnanok that could maybe come out if you weren't to show up tonight, because you haven't always been a Mima, and you've made some mistakes in the past, and whoever wrote this note seems to know what some of those mistakes are.
There's only one thing I wouldn't want anyone else to know that I did. It must be that.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us.
All
those murders.
Right? Like, let's wrap this up right now.
Yeah. Secrets.
Keep your secrets.
Officer Bottom, in your case, as you know, your character has not always played by the straight and narrow, and in your case, the author of this note seems to know that and is threatening to out some of your more questionable decisions to your bosses in the constabulary, who are not really inclined to be nice about that kind of thing.
Oh, God, this is going to be bad for old Bottom if I don't get to the bottom of this. Oh, my God, what is happening?
I hope it becomes like a running thing, like you just work Bottom into like...
Every sentence.
Yeah,
He's an unintentional narcissist.
And if it doesn't, it just becomes punctuation. I stand up, Bottom.
It's time to get to the me of this.
And Miss Moonshadow Foxglove, in your case, it has to do with your wife, who's stranded in the port of New Freehold between Tiernanak and the Berg, looking for a way to finally get to the Berg, but unable to cut through all the red tape blocking new immigrants from coming. And whoever wrote this note has promised that they have a way to expedite this process and get your wife here, finally, to the Berg.
This is my chance to bring her home to me.
Yes, that is why you've all found yourselves here, and you maybe crossed paths before. You know, it's a big city, but you've all lived here for a while, so it's entirely possible that you might know each other. But to find yourselves here in the back room of this very prestigious supper club, summoned by an anonymous note, of course, you know, you're all wondering why I've gathered you here. Right now, coming into the room is this gentleman, this mysterious human gentleman in a dark suit who calls himself Mr. Wrathstock, and he says to you, I've gathered you here today for this reason, because arriving on a ship this very night are antiquities from Tiernanak, fairish treasures from the homeland of the Fae, and they're headed for the Bergish Museum. I represent a collector of such antiquities who would rather a specific one fall into their own hands. What I want is a book. It's a very old book called The Palest Lantern, written thousands of years ago, 1,000 years before the first human words were ever put down. And it's written by this fairy shaman called Ferron the Black, and contains within it a lot of interesting formulas and incantations, not the least of which being a formula for the creation of a beast called a Dark Asher.
That is a very dangerous book. I hope whoever's asking for it knows what they're doing.
It's just a tale for children. Dark
Yes,
Asher doesn't
yes.
exist.
It exists, and it is very dark. Dark magic.
All right, so you want the book. What else do you need?
Just the book.
Just a book.
Just the
So-
book.
And
So
a
who
whole-
are you? Are you going to address this? I wave the note at him.
Is there a way that we can ensure that what has been promised to us will come to pass?
There's no way. You just have to trust me. I had the power to summon you here today. You're standing in the Janissary Club, which is usually reserved for politicians and diplomats and men of power. And the fact that you're even allowed to be in this room at this moment should be proof enough. And can any of you really afford to not believe the notes that were sent to you?
Well, I certainly can't afford to eat here.
I
so-
would like for it to remain private.
It absolutely will if you get the book.
So, Mr. Raffstock, was it? Let's say that some of these antiquities fall off the back of this boat, wagon, centaur, whatever. Is that okay? Do you just need the book? If some of these others disappear?
My employer would like very much for there not to be any more reason to look into this than there already is from the
But
authorities.
say if one or two were missing,
After all, I am the authorities. Like, who's going to look into it if not me?
Then it becomes your problem.
Oh, yeah, story of my life.
Will there be any additional security around this item? Is it sought after by more people than just you and your employer?
Does anyone else know about it?
Some know about it. That's why it's critical that we find it as soon as possible. And as far as the security around the item, Mabel, you're in a unique position to find out the security measures surrounding this item, owing to the fact that your own master, Dr. Beddington, is the professor who got them here to the Berg in the first place.
Yes, that is who who I work for, Nathaniel Beddington, and his 3 small children who are just delightful.
all right, give us more details before she pulls out photographs.
All right, so the details are, we're in a position right now where these items are in customs. They've just been floated off the ship, and they're on their way to the museum. After tonight, they're going to be trucked to the museum, at which point it will be much harder to retrieve them. So you have very little time, and I would make use of it wisely.
So I don't have time to finish my prime rib.
No.
Shit. All right.
It does seem like a wasted opportunity to be in this room and then denied all of these pleasantries, but if we must.
I have another question. Besides these remaining private, what else will we get?
Wow, I don't know. What else do you want?
I do want something.
All right.
I want to speak with Mr. Beddington about his importation of fairy relics and what he's doing with them. That is important history for our people, and I don't want them in the wrong hands.
I think that is a wonderful inn. I mean, he's quite fascinated by the both of your type of folk, and has spent many an evening with me even in his library just asking me questions about how I grew up. So arranging a meeting, I think, would be advantageous anyway. Don't you?
Interesting, yes, very much. Well, you would be in a unique position to do that.
Right,
Then I should be asking you.
Well, if we're all agreed that this is happening, then I feel all of a sudden not as useless as I did entering this room.
Listen, Raffstock, before we go, where do we find you when this is all over?
I'll find you.
Oh, great.
So here's the situation. The customs house is in the area called the Docklands. It's a poor human neighborhood on the south side of the river near the ocean, and these are where the items are. They're kept in a labeled lot number locker. How would you like to proceed?
So, the customs house in the Docklands, I don't know about you, but this city feels like it's on the verge of exploding thanks to a sudden influx of, shall we say, some more monstrous citizens and winged...
How dare you take it back now?
It's all right. I will have you know, you're outnumbered.
Now I know why she's never allowed to touch the teacups.
I should just let her at you right now.
Well, you might want to, but then I'll arrest a lot of you, have you locked up, then you'll never get your secrets.
You can't do that if you're dead.
It's all right. We just wait until after we get the job done.
What I'm saying, why I brought up these racial tensions in the city, not just because I'm a bad guy. I'm not. I'm doing my part. I'm saying this because if they see the lot of us skulking around, they might get suspicious. Call in some of my colleagues. We don't want to get caught, so we have to be stealthy about this.
Not a problem for me.
What about that master of yours?
So I do like the idea of going to my master because
Going to him? You think you're gonna talk to him and he's gonna give us the...
I don't know if he'll outright give us any information, but I do think
No,
the presence...
that was sarcastic. I don't think he will. I think that we take what we want from him.
Well, within reason, sure, but the presence of you two, if I present both of you as willing to relinquish some fey, I don't know anything about your culture, you could get into probably the actual room where he keeps his secrets.
If we get into the room, I'll take us from there.
I have seen some pretty important documentation and tools, like perhaps keys or scholarly notes that he's taken. So I think you seem to be of the underworld shadow type. You might be able to pick some off.
Or, I don't know if you've noticed, but I am an officer of the law. I've got
We've
a badge.
all noticed, dearie. We're very
I've got
proud
a
of you,
badge.
dearie.
I could go
We are
and
quite
talk
aware.
to your master and tell him, hey, it's a matter of security for the museum. People are trying to steal this. Why don't
But
you let
then
me go in and check it out? You let me.
You do
give me the
realise-
key.
Then there'll be extra eyes on it.
Yeah, my eyes.
It might not be necessary to go to the Beddington house because, as you say, you, as an officer of the law, have access to certain places, and really the customs house might be one of them. I mean, sure, certain officers are maybe cleared for different things, but I mean, does the Port Authority know exactly who, is allowed to come and go?
Yeah, maybe Special Agent Bottom is on the case.
We bluff our way in there and then we just pick out what we need and we're gone.
But I do think it might be worthwhile talking to Mr. Beddingfield because maybe he has some insight as to what...
Beddington,
Yeah, whatever,
Now,
Beddington.
whatever yourself.
Yeah, I don't care about the kids or that guy, like...
They're so cute.
Okay, let's go talk to the Big Daddy and see what he has to say so we get a sense of what we're looking for.
I think that's pretty smart. I'll lead the way.
All right, so Beddington lives in a beautiful neighborhood called Finisterre Crossing. It's a wealthy human neighborhood on the north side of the river. And so you make your way there. It's still early in the night, so people are still about, and you're trying to travel in a way that does not draw suspicion, keeping a safe distance apart as you're making your way to the Beddington house. But you notice as you're approaching it, there's some commotion up ahead. There's a crowd gathered, and you can't really see what they're reacting to, but you see the light flickering on their faces and their eyes. And when you round the corner, you see the Beddington house totally up in flames, an inferno on fire.
No, the children! Oh no, we have to save them! They were here the last I saw them. I left them alone. I was never supposed to leave.
The house is a hopeless case. The house is completely burned. They might not be dead. Maybe they weren't in the house, but clearly, I think you can assume that you're not the only ones looking for this book.
Okay.
That's a dead end then.
Are the children okay?
Not yet.
Yeah,
Let's-
are the children?
All right, I'm pulling out my badge and walking up to the crowd, being like, Officer of the Constabulary, who's in charge here?
I'm gonna make myself scarce.
All right.
Blend in
I'm
the
going to be
shadows.
right up beside Dan, being of the Beddington house.
Okay.
I'll
okay.
be nearby both of them.
Okay,
Not
all right.
right next to them, but nearby. Earshot.
You go and you ask what's going on, and there's another officer who recognizes you from the constabulary and says, "Oh, it's insane. This house, it's gone up like a matchbook. We're still trying to figure out what exactly happened. You know, I think somebody maybe have knocked an oil lamp over."
Are the children okay? The Beddington children?
Yes, the children are fine. The children are okay.
Why are you
They're
rolling
right-
your
they're-
eyes about
they're
it? That
right
is a
over there.
perfectly valid question.
So if you look over there, there's the Beddington children. They're wrapped in blankets. They're obviously terrified, but they're alive. As is Mr. Beddington and his wife.
Is there any, I'm talking to the officer, is there any suspicious activity around these parts? You heard anything?
Well, you know, it's funny that you ask because we did just talk to a witness. I'm sure, you know, with this fire, you know, everybody, you know, tensions are high and, you know, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not real. But somebody was saying how just before the fire, they saw a fae flying around wearing all black. So obviously there's rumors of the Black Raven, but for one of them to fly all the way over here and set a house on fire, you know, that doesn't seem.
Does seem extreme even for them.
Yeah.
What is the state of the Dr. Beddington and his wife?
Terrified.
I'm going to approach both of them.
Okay.
Dr. Beddington, is everything okay? I just went to the market to gather supplies for tonight for the cook.
Yeah, no, everything's terrible. The house is on fire.
No, right? But are you okay? But clearly the children are protected, and you and the missus seem to be fine.
Oh, yes, we're fine. We're fine right now. Thank you for asking. Where have you been?
As I said, the cook had sent me off to gather supplies for tonight's dinner. She didn't have the special onions, you know, for the pheasant. Pheasant.
Because little Millicent over here was saying you locked them in a closet before you. What's that?
She exaggerates. You know, we all play games. It was an imaginary
All right.
closet. We're playing constabularies and fae.
All right, fair enough. Well, I guess we'll be moving to the summer house to live from now on, at least until we can get all this mess sorted.
Is there anything you need from me, perhaps, to make sure of before I travel off with you? You know, I have connections down in Carnival Row where I can just get fun little trinkets.
Perhaps you're driving at an idea that I'm not quite sure.
I just don't want to have to, I don't want him to secure me in with the family right now.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
Okay.
Perhaps I could just make sure that all of your affairs are settled down in the row, maybe at the bank and everything.
That would be nice, and if you could meet us up with us in the morning, you know, and we'll head off to the summer house then.
Sounds perfect.
Do I see this happening?
Yes.
Can I go over there?
Yes.
Excuse me, miss. I believe you're wanted as a person of interest in this case. You will come with me. We need to ask you some more questions.
But the trinkets.
I knew it. I never trusted
And
her.
I'm sorry, sir.
No.
And Doctor
Yes.
Beddington.
Yeah.
Pleasure is all mine. Officer Potter, I'm working this case. Now, do you have any idea?
What is she under suspicion for? Is it
Well,
is
she
it
has,
child murder?
Dr. Beddington!
I'll have to add this to a case file.
All right.
I write it down in my little notebook.
Great, okay.
No,
they're kind.
yeah, you can't trust them.
I don't know.
I certainly don't. That's why I'm going to question her. But no, do you have any indication as to why we're investigating all possibilities. I'm thinking arson because tensions are running high in the city, as you well know. Is there any reason that people might target you specifically?
There's none that I can think of. I mean, aside from volumes of extraordinary power that I've stolen from somewhere across the ocean. But no, other than that, none that I can think of.
Well, we prefer the term imported, sir.
Oh, yes.
Stolen.
Yes, of course, imported.
Yes, wink, wink.
Yes.
Stolen from people.
And
Actual people.
you know, I actually have a bit of an interest in this subject myself. I apologize, not maybe the time because apologies for your house, but I've always heard tell of this this one book I've always wanted to see at the Burgish Museum called it's like the palest
lamp.
Oh, the palest lantern.
Oh, yes,
it's a
the palest
very
lantern.
old text, one of the oldest, fairest texts. Yes, you know what? I'm glad you brought it up because now, I've just been thinking about this house here and how it's all on fire owing to Mabel and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how I'm blamed for this.
That I'm so distracted by that, but now that you mentioned, yes, the book is it's not on display at the British Museum yet, but it's being held in customs, and I need to get my affairs in order, and if you would do me the favor, officer, of just going there perhaps and just making sure that that everything's okay on the docks.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Would be great. That's one less trip I have to make.
I'd love to check it out. Do
Yeah.
I need any sort of special, is there any sort of special key or access code I need to get in
You
there?
know what? That's great. I'm glad you asked. I have a key in my pocket here. I'm just going to give it to you.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm going to write you a note. If you could just take this note, I'm sure with my trust, I trust that you have the matter in hand.
Absolutely. As an officer of the constabulary, you can believe in me.
And you can
yes,
totally
yes.
prove my guilt or innocence.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Us
All
humans
right.
have to stick together, That's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I sidle over after this conversation, and I take your hands on mine. Humans are rubbish.
They are the
rubbish.
worst.
Right, I know that you love those kids, and I think they're stupid, and that any humans that aren't actively our allies are against us, but I'm so sorry, and we'll get back at them.
Well, I'm very impressed you're handling this so well, Moonshadow, because it does seem that if the rumors are correct, you will be moving against your own organization tonight.
No, this wasn't one of us.
All right.
Couldn't have been. Ah, shit.
All right, so from there, from the mysteriously on fire Beddington house, you make your way to the docklands across the river by the ocean and the customs house. By now, things are starting to die down a little bit. The night is growing old, and people are starting to turn in and go home. And in a place like the docklands, it's desolate. There's nothing there but some tall-masted ships swaying in the tide, and the occasional watchman pacing about, whistling, twirling his keys. And you see just up ahead the distinctive silhouette of one of the oldest buildings in the docklands, the old customs house, which is where you've been told the object of your interest lies.
Does the key have a number on it? Like where you said the book itself was inside of a numbered locker, would that match up with what was on the key?
Yes, so when I say it does have a number on it, but when I say locker, I mean not like locker, I mean like locker the size of this half of this room, like
Giant
where
storage
all
facility.
where like all the lot would be.
So we
from
know
the-
where
yeah.
we're going. Also, along the way to the Berg, I'd like to sort of make inquiries and light inquiries and see if indeed this was the work of the Black Ravens.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm part of the Black Ravens, so I'm sure that the information highways I'd have an advantage.
Yeah, so you would know signals. Let's say you know a special whistle. You can like fly your way up to a rooftop and do a cry or a whistle that will call any other Black Ravens who are near. Yeah. Well, yeah, or
so
something
subtle.
else.
Sounds like a bird to me.
Damn birds!
Yeah, something. Yeah, no, like that. That's great. So, but that would be a roll. That would be if you want to do it, and I would set the difficulty of that at I would say you're in the docklands, so you're kind of far from anyone. It's at least demanding. I would put that difficulty at 3, so your target number is 9, unless you can bring it down.
With my ties with the advantage with being part of the Black Ravens.
Okay.
Is it
Okay.
1 down 1?
What skills do you have?
I am streetwise.
Okay, well then I would lower. If you have streetwise, I would lower your target number down 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
6.
1. You just have to roll 3, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
First roll of the game.
Yeah, 9.
Okay, so what happens is you go up and you do your signal, or something like that, and a nearby Black Raven flies over. Somebody you know. It's Slingo, and
Oh, Slingo.
yeah,
We go way
Slingo.
back.
And
You and Ten and all.
what do you want? What do you want, Moonshadow?
There was a fire at the Beddington estate. Was that us?
Listen, you best not ask questions about that. Look, something's going on tonight. High up stuff I can't really talk about it, but you know, the less you know about it, I think the better.
Usually more information is better in our line of work.
We've got somebody who's very interested in acquiring something.
Is it a book?
Listen.
Just rumors on the street say it might be a book.
Listen, I can't really, this is actually making me sort of uncomfortable to continue talking about this. This is on high. This is on high.
Same.
Yeah.
Come on, it's me.
It's a book.
All right. So, if I were on my own, on another job, getting one, then what?
What the fuck, Moonshadow? Like you can't go against there's no on your own with the Raven. Just walk, turn around, walk
I'll
the
walk
other
away.
way. Yeah.
I'll walk
yeah,
away.
Yeah.
That's no money's
Yeah.
worth that.
Yeah.
Just make myself scarce. Good luck tonight.
Hi, Moonshadow, where'd you get up to?
It's just me drinking chums. All right.
I'm gone. I'm out. Slingo out.
Slingo out. Well, turns out the Black Ravens are after the book, so we're screwed.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, look at us. What a formidable force.
So we still have some tactical advantages. We know where the book is. We have access to the book. Now we just need to move quickly because...
I might suggest something. I actually come across as very mild and meek, but I'm a damned force to be reckoned with. I might put myself forward as a lost fawn to attract some, perhaps, ne'er-do-wells away from the customs house and then take them down.
Create a distraction.
Well,
I'll
sure.
sneak around and get the lay of the land while you do that.
All right, and I'll walk in through the front door with my badge and my letter of writ and the key.
Well, there's actually no ne'er-do-wells around, really. There's just security officers. Are you looking to distract them?
Yes, I'd like to distract the security officers / ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah, show a little hoof.
No, I don't think like that. I think I'll act like a victim, so I look like a lost target.
I could say that I found you lost and you needed assistance.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, good. What skills would you have in the course of getting their attention?
Okay, I would like to use persuasion, that I actually am completely out of my element.
Okay, so I would put the baseline difficulty of this at 3 and bring it down then based on that to...
I have 1, yeah, so that would be a 2.
Yeah, to 2. You have to roll a 6 and let's see if anybody cares that a fawn is hurting.
I told you. I tried to warn you.
This is so scary. Why is there fog everywhere? It's so ominous. A 16, which, yeah, I definitely beat that.
Yeah, so everyone at the Berg rushes over. Like, oh my God, a fawn is hurt.
And I nanny for 3 children. Someone must help me. I must get back to my children.
But you attract attention. There's some officers coming over. It's not perhaps not quite the sympathetic attention that you would want because their first words are, hey, what are you doing here? What's the big idea? Maybe you should just move along.
And I look to my Mima friend.
Yes, I step in and would like to intervene, and I'd like to use persuasion too. I'm trained in that.
Taking that into account, I would put this difficulty for Mima. Let's say you have to roll a 3, a difficulty of 1.
Okay. I got a 10.
All right, so they buy your story.
Yes, so this fawn, I was actually looking after her. She has some forgetfulness. Her memory is not well. And the poor thing, she cares so much about the children that she cares for. And we just want to find her back to her home. If someone could help us.
Well, where is her home? And while this conversation is happening, I might add that what good is a distraction if it's not taken advantage of?
While this is happening, I think that Moonshadow and I are making our way towards the customs house. Or I'm going to take the front, you take the back.
I'll go around the back.
Yes, and together we will meet up inside. I think that's the best course, best plan of approach.
All right, let's see if their play works out for us.
Yeah. I mean, you can come with me if you want. I figured pincer maneuver.
Always thinking about tactics, I am.
Very smart, officer.
Yeah,
That's why I always like working with you.
Yes, that's why they're gonna make me Special Agent Bottom one day. Then we'll see who's on top. Me.
I like this screwball comedy dynamic between Constable Bottom and Moonshadow.
This ain't our first sting.
Let's just say we get things done.
So you do. You take, what is it, the front?
Yes.
And you take the back and you enter the darkened customs house. And you're making your way, you're looking at the key and the number on the key and matching it with the cage numbers as you're going along the way.
I'm keeping an eye out for others.
While they're distracted, of course, you have the opening that lets you go in the front. And since you're doing the sneak around the back, let's have you roll for that and see how successful you are. I would put this difficulty at, I would say, it's the customs house, so it's demanding. You know what? I would put it at a 4 and say it's difficult and say your target number is 12. So what have you got?
So, I am trained in sneak. All my life here in the Berg, I've been sneaking around. It's dark, and there's nothing but shadows.
Okay.
And I am nothing but shadows because I've got this cloaked hood. It wraps around me, it covers the shine of my wings, and there's a hood on it that's just, it's nothing but shadow.
That sounds like a really badass hood.
It's great.
Slash cloak. So I would say you're trading, that's -1. We'll say that darkness is another -1. And the cloak is very badass sounding. So I would say that gets you down to, you roll a 3 and you're successful.
Come on! 15!
Oh,
I
yes.
was really hoping for a 1.
Yeah, you bump into the door.
You step on a rubber chicken.
There's a rake somewhere there.
So you go in the front, you go in the back. Let's say that you need to keep lookout and make sure the guards don't come back while he's looking for the key.
Okay.
Make it quick, bottom.
So this is like a super crowded, like there's like trunks and stuff everywhere?
It's like cages, like storage cages, like a long corridor of storage cages.
Okay.
And each one full of crates from whatever delivery. And they're all numbered, and you're looking to match the number with the key.
Okay, I'm skilled in investigation as an officer of the law, so I'd like to see if I can make a roll to speed up this process a little bit so I don't waste our time and risk someone else coming to find us.
All right, okay, all right. So speed it up how, like run or something?
Well, no, I just meant like put my keen powers of intellect to the test to see if like, because I don't know how this numbering system works, if everything's in proper order, because I don't know, last time I was at public storage, it was just like Craigslist spilled.
One thing that's going to be perhaps a very helpful hint to you as you're moving down this corridor is somewhere up ahead, and maybe you're crossing your fingers that it's not going to be the locker that you're looking for, but somewhere up ahead, a cage door is hanging open and someone is rummaging around the locker. And you're approaching very quietly. They still haven't noticed you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and stealth up to them and pull my pistol to their head. Say, freeze.
All right. Okay, I like this. I like this.
Locker.
Yeah.
I don't know, I certainly hope so.
Let's cut back outside to you guys and see how all that's going.
If the two security officers are still engaged with us, has everyone else kind of dispersed now that it seems like, you know, the crazy fawn is being dealt with?
It's relatively uncrowded right now, being at this late hour, and so that the two that came up to you, like the two that are engaged with you, are the two that came up to you, and there's no other ones in sight.
Okay.
Okay.
I want a gun because I'm actually really good with rifles. So I want to actually try to take one of their guns.
I love this. Yes.
Power move.
Yeah.
Now who's lost?
Outside the box. Yeah.
I just can sense that like my teammates might, I don't know, we're in a dangerous, I know we're in a dangerous situation, and I did fight in the war, so I'm trained with a rifle. So
Don't screw with Mabel.
if
Like,
there's a rifle I wanted.
I said it's bedtime.
Yeah. One of the guards does have a rifle slung over his shoulder. The other does not. How do you want to?
I want to use etiquette, and I want to play the part of a docent, mild well, we'll see. This is what I do. I go, it's just so scary out here. Oh, if only a nice strong guard could walk me back home. You know, I live with the Beddington, so it would be quite nice. And oh, is that a gun? Could I hold it? And I've never held a gun before in my life.
No, actually, no.
Right.
I'm so sorry, officer. As I said, her mind
What
is
is
not
this
quite
for?
there.
Is this for real? Like, I thought she was in trouble. Now she's asking to hold my gun?
Yes, no,
Like,
I'm
what?
so sorry. I pull her away and I say, actually, we just need some assistance getting back to the house. Not the Beddingtons. She said the wrong name because no.
You know,
What
your
am I
kind,
doing?
your kind aren't even supposed to have guns. You know, you could go to jail even for touching
Oh,
the
of
gun,
course,
even for
of
thinking
course.
about the gun.
Of course,
Like,
officer.
that's
Right. Well, silly me.
Yes,
What
of
am I
course.
doing taking care of children?
Perhaps you could tell us about the neighborhood over there. And I want to
all
point
right,
away
okay.
from the customs
All
house.
right. What's
What-
going
what's the
on
history of
here?
this
What's
neighborhood?
happening? I'm getting very suspicious.
Can I do a
and starting-
persuasion to see if that distracts them?
Yes, yeah. And I would put that at quite high as well. Heroic, I would say 24. Do you have anything to bring it down?
I do have persuasion, or I would like to change my tactic. Yeah, I'd like to, instead of basically asking for the history of this, I would like to tell some Fae history, because I know a lot of Fae history, and just wrap them in with a really cool story about Fae lore, which is
okay.
persuasion and Fae lore.
Okay, so that would bring it down to what, 6? So roll an 18, and he's gonna want to hear about it.
You get the one history buff working at the docks.
It's an 8.
Dang. Boy, we really could have used.
Oh man, if only they wanted to learn more sweet fairy trivia.
Tell me more.
Oh, actually, I've been meaning to study this.
Actually, when the Fae first came to the Burg.
All right,
this
okay,
is one of the
listen,
places that you don't want to hear this story. It's a very interesting
No.
story.
Have a nice day. Listen, I've got a customs house to protect. I'm gonna go back to that. And the other guy's like, yeah. So they're both turning around and going back to the customs house. Better do something fast. All right. Meanwhile, back in the customs house where it's very dark and the only light is coming from the lamplight on the water, flickering through the floorboards, and we have Moonshadow sneaking around somewhere, keeping an eye on things as Constable Bottom is very bravely attempting to sneak up and put his pistol to the back of someone's head. Hopefully this is a good idea. Let's see how you fare in that sneak, because I think that's going to need to be a roll.
All right, free scumbag.
Because the goal here is you don't want this person to hear you coming.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I, contrary to what you might think, in spite of all of my expert level tactics, I'm not trained in stealth, but I am trained in using firearms, so I'm not gonna, hopefully not accidentally discharge my weapon prematurely. And I am also very skilled in intimidation.
I will give you a stealth discount.
Okay.
But your proficiency in neither your proficiency in firearms nor your intimidation, I think, will affect how the floorboards creak.
Rats. Okay. So what number do I have to beat here?
I will say you have to beat a 9.
Okay. Seems pretty demanding, but Officer Bottom's on the case. Okay, I rolled a 7. As we say in the biz, that's a big yikes.
So as you're approaching, the aforementioned floorboards creak, and you see in this figure ahead of you, this shadowy figure rummaging around in the locker, you see a flicker of wing as they turn, and they're all black clothes. It's a black raven who turns and sees you.
I quickly go, in an effort to deceive.
In an effort to confuse him, and maybe you are just a black raven undercover.
In all reality, would I know this? Would I have picked up on that earlier? Or is that just me metagaming? Because I don't want to do something that my character wouldn't necessarily know here, as fun as it is.
You're actually saying you want to make the secret black raven
Yeah,
signal.
do you think I would have noticed that earlier and put 2 and 2 together? Or am I just Officer Dingus over here?
I think, you're welcome to try whatever you want to try, but I think he's not going to be fooled. I put the difficulty of that like obscenely high.
Okay.
It's impossible.
It's
But
impossible.
I will. Yeah, if you're trying to summon her.
Yeah, it's a dual purpose move.
Yeah, if you're
because
trying to fool him, that's crazy. But
Officer Bottom's playing 4-dimensional chess.
all right,
now.
okay, all right. Well, then you don't have to roll. Yeah, if you want to summon her like that, yeah, make your little noise there.
Bottoms up!
Do we hear that outside?
Well, no.
Okay.
Yeah. No, because you're in your own little zone, and I think several yards away. Bottoms up.
So it's what I say when he gets himself in trouble.
Yeah.
I like how you have your own little, yeah, that's good.
So I silently and swiftly move towards where they
Yes,
are.
because
and I sneak.
as you look and see, you see him with his gun raised and a black raven coming at him, unintimidated by his gun. And what are you gonna do?
So I keep making sure my hood is still up. I quick draw a knife and I lob it at to
you're
take the
knife throwing.
Yeah,
Okay,
take the
that's a
wing
good
out.
move. That's take the wing out is what you're.
because you said they're flying.
Oh no,
they're just going-
he's walking.
Oh,
He's
well, then
walking because he
I'll
was
take
in
a
there, yeah.
leg, take him out the knees.
Okay. So you're not aiming to kill him.
No.
All right.
No.
Okay. All right. So that's, I would say, demanding, but you have knife throwing skills,
Yes,
right?
I'm a 2 with knife.
Let's say you have to roll a 3 to hit your mark there.
All right. So a 9 or a 3?
A
Or
3.
an actual
You have to roll a
Awesome.
3. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very good with knives.
Just made it. Yo.
Yes.
Brutal.
Your knife catches him in the calf. He goes down on one knee. He's temporarily incapacitated, only for a moment. I could remind you still have a gun pointed at him.
Yeah, I'm walking up to him with the gun trained on him, saying like, "All right, spill it, Pix. What are you doing here?"
Racist.
It's a tactic.
All right, we're going to come back to that. But what have you two decided to do about these guards who have now turned away from you and are headed back to the customs house?
I'm gonna start chanting and pretending I'm possessed, because that'll freak him out.
I've seen the rifle and I can no longer take my eyes off it. It must be mine. I'm going to charge and
Okay,
take
well-
him down to take the rifle out of his stupid hands.
Okay, that's an interesting two-part plan. We maybe don't need the first part.
I can distract.
Well, they've already got their backs towards you. So you would
yeah,
only
I was trying to keep them from going back to the customs house.
Oh, I see. Well, how do you want to do it?
Let's see how we can collaborate on this.
Okay. My instinct is to take one of them out by surprise, like by charging, taking his gun and shooting him. Look, I've got some PTSD from the war and I've seen my rage. So that's what I would like
Let's
to
do the charge, okay.
Okay, let's do the charge.
Well, if she's taking one of them out, I feel like I should take the other out, because we don't want to have.
You should definitely be
Yeah.
ready to. Yes.
Well,
yes.
I'll be charging the other one then.
Great.
By physical force.
Yeah, I have melee. I have
Okay.
unarmed attack.
All right. Fair enough. Okay.
So
You're
this
going
will-
for the guard with the rifle, the big one with the rifle.
That's right. I have an unarmed attack with my horns that is a -2. And I would argue that because his back is turned to me, I might be able to have some advantage there as well.
Okay, that makes sense. I would say I want you to land at a 6 because I think their level's a 4 based on what you've said. So a
So
6.
6 or higher. Okay,
6 or better is going to yield a productive charge.
perfect. All right, I've had about enough of this. I hate playing crazy people. All right, here we go. That is a 12! So I charge right at him, my hooves stamping in the murk and the mire of these docklands, and I come up from behind them, kind of ram my head right into their back, forcing them to arch their back and then just smack down while I pick up their rifle. And I do pick it up by the, the chuk-chuk part, so that it goes chuk-chuk, and I'm ready. Okay?
I like that. Suddenly it's a shotgun, but okay. Maybe it's a rifle with a chick part.
Oh, I think I broke your gun.
It's like Terminator 2 all of a sudden. So you do that, and you have his gun, and he's on the ground. He's not dead, but he's knocked down. You gave him a good hit. And you have his gun, and it's pointed at him. Meanwhile, the other guy, who's, all of this is happening within a few seconds, he's shocked. He hasn't had time to react yet. He maybe doesn't realize that the Mima, of all people, is now running towards him. Do you have anything that you want to attack him with, or is this just a body blow?
I have a knife as well.
Okay.
So I don't want to stab him. I would like to knock into him and press up with the knife.
Oh, like holding it. You're looking to restrain him from action. Yeah, his difficulty, I think, is probably a 3. Do you have any sneak skills?
I have melee, hiding, an unarmed attack, and -2 for knife. So that's like 4 steps right there.
I would give you knife if you were attacking him with a knife, but just restraining with a knife. I would give you hiding and unarmed attack.
Okay.
So that gets you from 3 to what?
To 1 difficulty.
All right, so roll a 3 or better, and
Oh.
yeah.
Sounds easy, right? Let's see. It's a 5.
You come up behind him, wrap the knife around his throat. He's not going to make any move towards your friend there, who's got her brand new rifle trained on the guy. What do you want to do with these guys?
For now, because we don't hear any commotion yet, right? It's more, I guess, to make them look as if everything's normal.
By now, you will have heard a commotion because I think this has taken long enough
Got it.
that you have heard the knife. Well, not heard the knife, but heard whatever commotion, shouting has arisen from her throwing the knife
I want
at
to
the Black Raven.
force us to move into the shadows so that we're not like surrounded by wandering eyes.
Yes.
It would be good to lock them up somewhere in a closet, or maybe you have some experience with that.
It's like a whole
Locking people
runner
into
here.
closets.
That's like
The villain of season 2,
meant as
a
a
flaming
one-off joke,
closet.
But as it turns out, I am familiar, and it seems like there might be some closets inside the customs room that might fit these two.
That's perfect. Let's go. Let's bring them
okay,
inside.
you realize you have a rifle pointed at him and a knife to one of their throats. Okay.
We don't want to kill them yet, unless
Unless you want us to, Travis.
No, I'm just, it's like I'm a bloodthirsty god. I demand sacrifice. No.
No funny business. We're taking you into the customs house and locking you up.
And you're moving them into the customs house to lock them up. And meanwhile, you're in the customs house. This Black Raven is on one leg, but he's still he's hopping. And I should remind you that at this point, he's turned around and he's seen you.
Got my hood up. I got my hood up. He knows there's a Black Raven somewhere.
I would say the burden on you is very high to not let this guy out of here. How do you want to handle him? I think it's your move.
All right, I've got my gun against his temple, saying, "All right, you little Black Raven shit. Where's the book?"
The book is in my pocket. You, human.
Oh,
There's
good.
not a lot of racial insults.
yeah, I
for
know.
you, yeah.
It usually works
Very,
like that when the power structures are not in your favor, unfortunately. It's really f***ed up when you think about it. Anyway, I rifle through his pockets.
Yeah. But at around this time, as you're rifling through his pockets, you don't see he's reaching for. Look, Black Ravens really like knives.
Yeah.
He's reaching for a knife that's tucked into his boot.
Do I see it?
You see it. He doesn't see it.
I draw a knife and I stab him in the kidneys.
Oh, let's see what that does. So.
Alex did her own co-worker.
Yeah.
He can't know I'm here, or I won't have any co-workers.
He's not gonna know
I'll be
much.
dead.
All right, so you're gonna try to stab him in the kidneys. Let's say.
He's restrained.
Because normally I would put him high. I would put him at formidable. Let's say you have knife skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2. Then do you have anything else?
Melee.
I would say this stabbing him in the kidneys. Let's put it at a 9. You have to roll a 9 or better.
It's a 1.
Natural 1?
It was a 1. So let's say you make a move to stab in the kidneys. You're not fast enough. He gets his knife out and he gets bottom in the bottom.
Oh!
Yeah, butt stab.
My namesake.
Yeah.
Real pain in the arse, ain't it, Bottom?
Oh, you laugh
Yeah.
now, you suck at stabbing. Oh.
Yeah. So now what's happened is as you're rushing to Bottom's aid, this Fae, his wings are out and he's off the ground. He's not outside, but remember his legs aren't quite working. He's flying down the aisle. He's gonna make his way out.
I'm gonna try and shoot him.
You're gonna try to shoot him?
Right in the head.
All right. All right, what do you got? Let's see. What did I say? He's formidable. For a injury to your namesake Bottom, I would dock 2 points of damage for that, unless you've got some sort of protection.
Well, thankfully, as a member of the constabulary, I wear our fashionable police coats, which provide me with 2 armor, so I am thankfully unscathed,
Butt
although
pads.
I do not appreciate what he just tried to do.
Yeah,
And I'm
okay.
definitely taken off guard.
Okay. So he's on his way out. You're raising your gun to hit him.
Yeah.
He's booking it, and he's at formidable. What do you got that's gonna bring this 21 shot in the head down.
Okay, so I have 2 rank in pistols, so I'm like a pistol expert. They call me, they call me the Widowmaker down at the Constabulary.
Okay, that gets you to 15.
I'm pretty intimidating, so I'm gonna say like 8 lead picks, and then hopefully strike fear into his heart. I don't know if that's gonna play with
What
you.
the hell? 12. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Come on.
Wait, you can with effort.
Yeah, you can expend effort too.
Expend
Oh.
effort.
Do you want to
Yeah.
put any effort into this?
Yeah, I definitely want to expend effort to burst his head like an overripe melon.
Well,
Okay, so, all right, target number 9.
All right. 19! All right, so that would be 4 damage, but since it's a 19, that's plus 3 damage or a minor effect. After being sort of surprised by what was happening, I cock the hammer on my gun, raise it at him, say, "Eat lead, picks," and then I fire it, and the bullet travels through his back of his skull, out through his eye, and his head bursts like a Jackson Pollock painting all over the other lockers there.
Can
It's a
I
mess.
suggest also at that moment that the Mima and I are coming through the door to lock up the guards and we get a little splatter?
Yeah, they open the door.
You see quite a different set of tactics being used inside the customs house than you were using outside.
Oh, I
the
didn't
customs
know. Were we firing? Did we say we were firing? That was okay.
we didn't say we were going to be killing people. But oh well.
Amazing.
That's a power bomb.
Yeah,
Nailed
so
it.
He's dropped down. You go in there. Well, you've got to secure these 2 guards that you have. What are you going to
Easy,
do
we
with
put them in the locker where the book
Wait,
was.
Where the book was, with the open locker.
I'm gonna go real quick and rifle through and grab something small, maybe.
All right, and then they usher the guards that they've captured inside. Bottom, you might want to turn up your collar so they don't recognize you.
Yeah, I'm playing. I'm playing it cool. Turned up my collar, got my hand like this, like, oh, I don't know you guys. And I also want to rifle through the dead Black-Raven to see if I can find that book.
Let's see where that book is, because he said it was on his person, but he might have been lying to get you distracted. So before you lock your guys up, both of you, let's use investigation to see if you can find the book. You focus on the locker.
Okay.
The book's somewhere. So I would say this is standard difficulty.
Okay. So we got to beat a 6.
You gotta beat a
and
6.
Find it.
And I'll just do a straight roll.
That's why I never made detective.
Oh god.
Afraid?
I see nothing.
3, so it's definitely not in the
see
locker.
nothing. But
An 8.
All right, so you find the book on his person.
can I try to see if there's anything else though? Just
You
like,
can.
Just I don't care what it is. Just
Okay.
I'll just take a package and
Okay, you want to grab something?
just
Yeah, okay.
grab something at random.
Can I also get in there and look for other Fae lore that I would like to protect?
Yes, all of you can go in the locker and do a little shopping.
Loot. Loot.
I'm not interested. I just want to put people in
You've got your
big
gun.
closets.
You got your rifle.
I'm
Yeah,
wiping
yeah.
the book off on his cloak, getting a little bit of the gore off of it.
Yeah. I love that you guys are so interested in Fae history, but as, of course, that you've all started perusing this locker and Mabel is no doubt admiring her new rifle, these 2 guards are gone.
They left. Oh,
They've run. They are off to get help. Backup is coming.
They slipped through our fingers.
Backup is coming, but on the plus side, you found the book. So what do you want to do? You want to wait for them to come back and try your odds against?
I'm just gonna grab anything I see, just a random package and tuck it away.
I'm stuffing the book into my jacket pocket and like just walking out the front door with purpose.
All right. So all of you are making your way out of the customs house.
Going around the back.
Yes,
I'm
you're
sneaking.
You're already hearing the alarm bells, the ringing somewhere outside, calling for backup.
Let's truck it. I don't know why we're just walking. I think we should run.
Run.
Well, before you do, you're standing there, on the foggy docks, and you're about to part ways when you see a figure approaching. It's a dark figure, and he's approaching very calmly, and it's Wrathstock. And true to his word, he's found you just when you found the book. He's like, wait, before you go anywhere, before you do anything, I'm gonna need that book.
Raffstock, you get us out of here, you get your book. If we go down with this ship, ain't nobody getting nothing. I'll throw this in the water.
Can I do an insight to see if I think he's gonna try to kill us or do harm to us after he gets the book?
Also gonna do a sense motivation. I don't trust him.
Yeah.
Okay, you can.
So, what's the target?
The target is high. The target's gonna be formidable because Rathstock is good at concealing his.
Okay.
I have a sense motivation. So that goes down 1.
Okay.
I have 2 steps in insight.
Okay, so let's say 15.
All right. Okay. Let's see what's in his head. 20! 20!
Mine was not worth it.
20. 20. So you do not get a good feeling about this guy, and you're looking around in the fog, and you see that he's not alone, that there are other people like behind crates, behind ships, people leveling weapons at you. There's something about this that you don't like, and you are surrounded.
Shit.
And Rathstock has a smile on his face and says to you, no, I think you will give me that book. So what do you do?
Well, I nudge these two and make eyes.
You're like,
To make
I
sure
don't know
they
who these
see.
people are.
To make sure they see who's around us.
Well, I hike up my skirt where I've been hiding my rifle, and I pull it.
Do you know how rifles work?
She's very tall. Yeah. She's 12 feet tall.
I'm very furry down there.
Very straight
I'm
legs.
super furry. All right, so I pull it out of my fur, which makes a lot of sense, and I say, "Oh, will we?" And I blast a shot right in Rathstock's face. Look, I trust my Mima friend. She's pulled me out of-
You're aiming for his face.
aiming fright.
He's formidable.
Firearms is -1 and rifle is -2.
All right, so roll a 12.
I believe in you.
A 1!
One.
A 1.
A 1. You pull the trigger. The rifle is not loaded. Nothing happens.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Seeing that, I want to roll out of the way and scramble for cover.
And now everyone's claws are out, including Rathstock, who's now pulling a gun on you. All right, so let's roll for initiative and see what happens next. Rathstock's number is 7. Is a difficulty 7. So that's a.
Oh, oops.
I got a natural 20.
Yes.
Ooh!
He goes first.
Damn, this
I got a
Rathstock.
7.
Yeah. So he's pulled a gun on you, and he fires. He fires at, of course, Mabel, who has pulled the trigger at him. Hits her in the leg. Mabel,
That's my rifle leg!
Yes, her rifle leg. She's going down, and you hear the clomp of boots coming as the men who have been watching this and armed are on their way. So yeah, who's next?
Do I take damage for that?
You do take damage for that. We're gonna take 2.
Awesome. -1 armor, so that's only 1.
Just trying to kneecap you, though.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm next.
Okay.
I am going to try and shoot the gun out of Rathbone's hand.
Okay. I like this. This is interesting.
Rathstock, excuse me, not
Yeah.
Rathbone. Rathstock. I'm going to shoot his
Basil
Rathbone, which is what he holds his gun with. Just to see if I'm the hot shit gunslinger that I fancy myself to be. Probably not.
You've done well so far.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Your target is 21, which is not possible. So what do you want to do to bring that down?
I'm skilled in pistols and firearms. Takes me down to 15, but also I think that I want to expend some effort. This is an extraordinary circumstance, and
Okay.
I think that I can become the super cop that I've always wanted to be in
Okay.
this moment.
Okay.
This is where my life turns around.
All right. All right.
All right, hopefully I don't Mabel this. 14! Yes!
All
Oh my
right.
god.
Okay,
that
so
was
yes.
We needed that.
stressful.
You pull the trigger, and the bullet hits the gun, not his head, but it knocks the gun out of his hand. Rathstock is now disarmed. You still have these other men coming at you through the fog, and it's whose turn now?
Oh, I think that's me. I rolled a 12.
My jaw's just agape because I can't believe that actually worked.
Yeah. You see this ping of sparks, and the gun just flying out of his hand. Even Rathstock looks a little surprised.
I would like to run at Rathstock and tackle him.
Okay. As we know, Rathstock is difficulty 7. So what do you want to do to bring that down to something you can?
I have unarmed for -1, and
Okay.
then I have melee for -1.
Okay.
And he also might not be expecting this because he just.
He absolutely
guard.
expects this.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a 15.
I see
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he's
yeah.
well versed in the martial arts.
He's ready for whatever comes next.
Yeah.
All right. 15. Yes. No. 12.
Oh, psych out.
So in running, you trip and you fall.
Oh no.
No.
All right, so seeing Raffstock and all my friends failing miserably and seeing all the men around us, I grabbed the book.
I knew it. I knew it.
I grabbed the book from bottom and I fly out over the water and I say, all right, let them go. Everyone goes their separate ways. I throw the book to you. If you shoot at me, I drop it in the water.
Well done. That's good. That's well done. Okay, Rathstock's listening to you now. All right, throw me the book.
Let them go.
All right, boys, let him out of here.
I start booking it.
Clippity clop on the hooves.
Just running in shame.
Run.
Now give me the book.
And I throw it like over it. To where his men can get it, but they'll all have to go find it. They'll all have to scramble for it. There's no way they can come after us.
All right, which they do, because the book is what they truly want. And so from then,
And I'm out.
you're out. All right, you narrowly got out of this caper alive.
And I'm sure we made 0 enemies in the process.
I know. I'm gonna be holding your finger to the page to write me an excuse for my Beddington family.
Officer, she executed a Pix in cold blood at the stockhouse.
No.
And
The
committed
opposite.
arson.
So thankfully you guys have made it to safety. The book that you've been trying so hard to get has fallen into Rathstock's hands, and whoever his employer was, I remind you, it contains within it some very dangerous incantations, as you've heard, including formulas on the creation of a dark asher, which is a very dangerous creature. To see what his or his employer's interest was in the book and to see if you guys are still around, check out the show.
All right, awesome.
And if you like what you saw, please go to Nerdist or Geek and Sundry to download a free copy of the RPG to play for yourselves. And remember to watch Carnival Row Season 1, now on Amazon Prime. I think you'll enjoy it.
Be sure to tune in to Carnival Row, the new hit TV show from Legendary Television and Amazon Prime Video, available to stream now.